Okay, I'm back. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And for me, it's only been a few minutes. For you, it's been a few days. I decided just to go ahead and carry right on with this hat. So, let's do that. There's really no rhyme or reason to the different colors of hats that you will find across the board for the Mad Hatter. So, I am still going to use those same 3 pencils that we used in his suit. I'm going to go jade green, olive, and dark brown. I'm going to put that down here for the first hat, okay? So like he got dressed, threw it on. Then he forgot he had it on, or because he's the Mad Hatter and it's what he does, he threw on another one. And this one's actually going to be, and these are all Crayola, Purple Heart, Violet Purple, or Violet parentheses Purple, and Plum. So let's start with this one first, just because it's going to take longer. Normally, I would have gone ahead and colored some of this up ahead of time. But again, for me, it's just been a few minutes, so just going to color this. Yeah, I really sharpen these really well. I don't normally have pencils this sharp, but why not, right? Some of these colors are really getting low, and you cannot buy these individual. So I will start using another brand soon. And I don't know if I'll mix them in and use them in conjunction with, or how that's going to happen. Haven't decided yet, but thought I would let you know it's going to be happening. So that's the lighter area, and then this flipped up edge is also going to be the very lightest. So I may just not go as dark on this. I'm going to start with a light coat, and we'll see. And it may show up lighter anyway, just because there's no gray down on there. And again, for me, this is a week and a half before when you're actually seeing this. So our weather is just in the upper 90s now. And in fact, with today being the 15th, next Wednesday, which when this airs will have been 3 days prior, we actually have a chance for rain. So I'm hoping that happens. Yeah. We'll see. We could use it. It just gets so hot here in Central Texas. You know, it just does. Now you notice I keep turning so that I'm going the direction as best I can that the area is when you go around something like that. That way, if you do have any streaky lines, they're at least going the right direction. All right, and then up in here is really lighter too. Now, the green here, I am assuming that that is shadow from the leaves that are overhead. So that will actually be done in the deepest, darkest purple. And if that's not dark enough, I may even have to go to a brown or a black. You don't see me do that often, but I may need to. Another good shadow color is purple, but since we're already coloring with purple, that's going to make that a little hard to do. So we'll see. And this is just what I call a sloppy copy. This is just getting a layer of color on there so that I know where we're going. Did you see just then I turned my pencil? I had been coloring like this, and so now there's an edge to that, so I'm flipping it so that I've got a point going again, and I can start getting some of the color off the other side. Just if you will rotate your pencil from time to time when you're coloring, it will help you to use up more of the pencil and not have to sharpen quite so often. And let's face it, Crayola is not expensive, but I've obviously used this pencil a lot, and I'm not going to spend to buy another whole box just to get this color. Although I do have, let's see, I think it was like a 24-piece set that I started with, and I need to look and see if this purple is in that set. Wouldn't that be awesome? I could just pull it and keep going. Memo to self, check for purple later. All right, whoops, this whole section. Now, again, it gets harder to go this way, and I've shown y'all this before. I'm going to put a pencil down there, and that'll keep me from going into that little tag that's in the hat. See, I'm hitting the pencil instead of going into the tag, and it keeps me from having to go this way on that whole section. Yeah, I just rotated again. All right, so there's first coat sloppy copy, whatever you want to call it. So now I'm going to go to my next shade, which was violet or purple. Okay, so now I'm going to come in to the darker areas. Blending into that area that's a little bit lighter. Do that blend. That's what's going to help give you the depth. That's why we bother to even use a second color at all. It's because we're trying to get some depth in here. See how already that looks tucked back under there? This looks like it comes around here. That's what I'm after. That's why I even bother to use another color. It makes it not look so flat. Going right around here makes that brim look like it's rolled up. And then there is a slight line here, so I'm just going to go over that line. Now, to make this look even further back in there, I'm going to go to Plum, which is my darkest shade. So look at it now. And then look now. See how that really goes back in there? Okay, this corner, it wraps around nicely, but look what I can do with just a little bit here. I can really push that back in there. I'm going to blend that out. I don't want it to be stark, but you can see now how that gives depth in those two directions. All right, so let's go back to the medium shade, which is violet. Our lightest one was Purple Heart. We're on violet now. I'm going to outline my tag and come in to the first color. The reason for that is it's going to make that tag look like it's raised up just a little bit. And I'm not going to use this in this V. Normally I would say yes, but because this is so close to the front of the hat and we have so much dark over here, that if I use the plum right there also, then it's got nowhere to make this go darker. I need to save that for my darkest areas. Okay. Remembering there was a line here. There's going to be a little bit darker back in here because the hat rolls around. So we can be a little bit darker here and then get lighter as we come to the front. Just gives it that more rounded shape. Okay. Just getting some of that color in there. And then this is going to be darker with this color, not with the plum. Plum's going to be for the very edge, not for all this out here. Blending into what was already there from our first color. Okay, be sure you're blending into it. Darker over here. I can be a little bit more heavy-handed over here. As long as I'm getting lighter as I come out. If you don't get lighter as you come out, you're going to end up with a straight line somewhere. So you need to constantly remind yourself, lighter so I can blend into what's there. And I don't have to go all the way there because I'm going to do that in the darker. Just letting this blend in. And you can see I'm going over that several times. And I'm doing it in different directions. That's what's going to help get the tooth out of that paper. The tooth in the paper is those little white areas. The little valleys. The texture that is in paper. Working that across. Really light now. Okay, then I'm going to come back with my first color. So whatever your first color was, and yes, I need to put an extender on here. See, and that's what I buy anytime somebody makes a donation to my channel. I can buy another extender or another package of his pencils, or another book. If there's something new out that somebody wants in particular, buy me the book, I'll color it online. Now, I will tell you, I don't like doing skulls and witches and stuff like that, so you might want to check with me first if you want to just send me a book or something to make sure it's something I'm really wanting to do, because I won't do just anything. But there are a lot of things I will do, and I just don't have the book. But if somebody's going to pay for it, I'll certainly do probably a third to half of it online, if not more. See, I'm getting that second coat on now. Remember the first time I said I just did a light coat? I'm going to stand up and see how we are time-wise. 16 minutes, okay. That looks a lot streakier through the camera than what it is in front of me. So I don't know what's up with that. I might can just come back. I don't know if it's the tilt of the camera or what. But anyway, so I would just keep blending that. All right, now I'm going to come in with the plum. Remember, that's our darkest. And that's where I'm going to come in here, and you're going to start really seeing the depth. See me doing that little zigzag and blending in? I showed that on the last video. I'm doing this and then going in, back and forth, and then going in. Okay? If you are interested in belonging to a coloring group that is very laid back, fairly quiet, does keep everything clean and what's posted, on Facebook there is a group called Coloring Books Keep It Clean. It is for ladies only. We have had some guys try to get in, and we do check on that. It's just our safe space, our safe little area to be. Very encouraging group. You're not going to see 30, 40, 50 posts a day like a lot of these groups are. It is a very quiet group. But I think that's part of what makes it so much fun. We are very personable, and you will get to know. The size isn't so huge that you won't get to know who's in the group. You'll know. There's still quite a few people, but I mean, we've really gotten to know each other, and we have new people monthly. So I invite you there. Now see, even with this being purple, those shadows are still showing up. And I do the rest of these just the same. But for time's sake, I'm going to move on. I'm going to do just a bit through here. This is that first color. And that's not solid gray. So I do want to put some of this on so that it can peek through. Okay, just like we did some over here earlier. Then I'm going to go to that second color, that violet or purple. And this is part of this band, so don't go down in there. Cut across from it. Now notice I'm not doing that corner. and I'm not going to come up into this corner. Well, I'm going to come up into it some, but then I'm going to make it to where I can come back in with that plum. Okay? Remember, part of the reason we didn't use plum a whole lot on the front part of the hat was because we knew we were going to need it back here. All this up in here will be plum. Should this video end before I am finished, look for a part 2. And the hat that's underneath, do it the same way we did this one. This hat here, do the same thing, but with the greens that we used before. I think I already told you those greens. The jade and the olive and the dark brown. So, because I don't think I'm going to do those on camera. You'll know, just by looking, you can figure out what color goes where. Now I did that there so it looked like it tucked around. I could do it up here again too, just a little bit, just because it does help give it that roundedness. And let's see. Now let's go with the darkest. For me, it's plum. See how that just sent that way back in there? Same thing here. Watch, we're going to send it to the back. See how that really pushed this to the front? Now, because I do want this to look rounded, I am going to add some plum there. But I'm going to be careful that it doesn't bleed into there. So I'm going to add plum up through here. So this is whatever your darkest shade is, minus plum. Okay. Then here. See how we're getting some depth? What I'm going to do here is go right up to it and leave that little bitty, there's a little bitty gray line there. You can see it from where you're at. If I leave that, then that's my separation. If you accidentally should go all the way and there's no line anymore, you can come back in with a liner paintbrush and just a dab of paint and just put a line in there. You could use white, you could even use a purple. You know, that's perfectly acceptable. Now here, remember I said I was going to put some in here? That's the shadow from where this is flipped. Up in here. And then I would go ahead and do these leaves. Okay, so we are going to finish this. There will not be a part 2. Yay! Now it bugs me sometimes because I want to get it done in 30 minutes. I just don't like going over, and my phone will automatically, or my tablet, will automatically shut me off at 30. There's probably something I can do. I have not figured it out. And the truth of the matter right now, with everything that's going on, it's not high on my priority list, you know. If I was getting paid to do videos and stuff, I'm sure I'd have a much better setup. But it is what it is. So Just come around wherever you think you need a little bit darker. Okay, and I'm actually thinking that's looking pretty good. Now I do want to come down here some. And I'm going to have it fade in. So, uneven lines. There we go. I do like that. Okay, so a quick one. Jade green is going to be all of this. Okay? This is what I call power coloring. Power through it really fast. Because normally I don't think I would finish this in just 5 minutes. But we're going to. Because there will not be a second video on this. So then I came in with olive. Right next to where that hair is kind of shadowing. Then here. And those little V's right there. Then coming out of here, coming from the back to the front. Okay, don't do the band. Do the piece there. Do all this. And I will see y'all back in a few days. Fastest ever coloring. We still have time. So I picked up that dark brown. See how I made that brim come up and over a bit? And how I'm going to tuck this hat back under that other hat. The darks are important. I know we often say when you do eyes, make sure you put those white dots in them. But just as important is going to be your dark shadows. It's what's going to give you depth to your pictures. So don't forget those dark shadows. And I think we're going to come in and give him an orangey red hair. So we may stay on this page for a few lessons. But anyway, that's it. Thumbs up, I hope. I will come back and probably do some more blending in there. But basically, that's it. So play with it, have fun with it. Again, coloring in different directions will help you work some of the tooth out of that paper, because what you don't cover going one way, then you'll probably cover going another way. And once you've got those darks in there, you can go over all that, and it's not really going to affect your darks. Okay? So anyway, have fun, and I will see all of y'all in a few days.